it really is maintaining your composure and anything. Because when you think about it, people, you only have to be with these people for X amount of days. Leave a good impression. Some of the best jobs I got were from people who I didn't leave a bad impression on.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
like you're gonna like this is like a first test or whatever, but like there's tons of stories just about that. Like, yo, because I didn't lose my cool, I got this gig, and we're like best friends. Communication.
Yeah,
like she
and it's
said.
also like good vibes. Like, you know, when you walk in the room, like if I see like the DP like not smile at all, like say hi to anybody, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to work with this guy.
Oh yeah.
Because especially being sound on set, I have to communicate with the DP.
Yeah,
Or else,
you have
like,
to work side by
yeah,
side. And unfortunately, they
absolutely.
really hate us. But when it comes to it, it's just like you guys got to figure out lighting. You guys got to
The
figure
boom
out
line,
Yeah,
yeah,
the boom line.
shadows, everything.
Yeah, when shadows are number one thing.
Yeah.
And like even I've been on sets too, where it's like I was trying to boom, and it's a tight room, and the lighting is tight and everything, and eventually there's nothing but shadow, and the DP just turns. Yeah, shadows.
Yeah.
And the DP turns to me and goes, "You can lob from outside."
What?
And I was like, "Are you kidding?" And he goes, "There's nowhere for you to boom in here."
Wait,
and then I
love from outside. That doesn't make any sense,
Well, it turned into a love story. So like he didn't
love story.
Love story. he didn't want to have boom in there, and he said like, "There's nowhere for you to boom."
Okay, first of all, that's not his call.
Oh yeah, it wasn't his call until he turned to the director, who him and the director are tight,
Oh,
and he
God.
looks at me.
Oh,
the director looks at me. He goes, "Go outside."
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was like, all right, love story it is. Hit the record button, went outside, started texting, seeing what's on Instagram.
Watched a movie.
Facebook. Yeah. But, I tried my best to fight for my
Yeah.
department, and I
Yeah.
tried it. And,
Yeah.
Once usually the director makes that call, it's like,
Yeah,
well,
that's-
that's your funeral at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, basically. It's your movie. It's going to be shit now.
Yeah, I'm like, good luck with the ADR session.
Yeah.
That's where you make extra money because you're gonna fix it in mixing.
Oh, yeah, I let them know that at the end of the shoot.
If they
Yeah.
can afford it, which usually they can.
Yeah, it's always like, hey, this is what we got left over from budget. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's a day rate.
Yeah. Why couldn't you pay me that when I was working 12 hours? For you?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
That'll get you a noise reduction over one track.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll compress everything for it, and you can figure it out with the editor.
Totally,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Nerd jokes, they will come. Nerd jokes, yes. If you're a nerd, please submit your jokes so we can post them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of blends into my story.
Well,
I'm gonna go with
hey,
yours because
yeah.
Jonathan is such a good storyteller. He's been on probably more sets than I have for sure. Even though I have like 12 years old, but I don't have any sets when I was 12 years old. Everything didn't
yeah,
go like shitty when I was 12. But so I'm gonna end the best for last.
Mm-hmm.
So I was working on a set. I was just boom up. This was a student film. Can I say this? I really want to say the school, but I don't want to. It
John
was-
Jacob
Say-
Jingleheimer Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say the initials.
All right. Well, that would give it away because that's how they say it. But you guys know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. But anyway,
we'll just say it out of towny schools because honestly,
okay,
no one.
out-of-towny-
Yeah, no one from like the states ever
Gotcha.
go to those schools.
No, like
Yeah.
1 out of like 50 kids. Anyway,
Yeah, and then they learn it's a bunch of like scam.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've been there, done that, still in it.
Mm-hmm.
But like Charles, I was sort of desperate in a time of money. Not to say that I'm never always desperate.
I think we all hit that low
We
at
all
one
hit
point.
that moment where we're like,
Yeah.
all right, $100 a day just to boom off, whatever. It was a 2-day shoot.
Right.
So I took the gig. It was a producer friend of mine who got me it. Anyway, I show up on set. I check the equipment before because the sound mixer, the real boss of sound, didn't know what the fuck she was doing. So I kind
Gotcha.
of had to take over. But she was mixing. She didn't do a good job. Anyway, it's not my fault. So I checked the equipment the day before we shot. Everything was fine, great. We pack, show up day one. Wasn't working. Nothing was working.
Oh wow.
Turned it on. Usually I like don't have the headphones plugged in. I'm like,
Right.
oh shit, why isn't it working? But I had everything plugged in. Everything was great. It was on an R44 recorder. The lavaliers that they have is Sennheiser, which praise to them, they're amazing, but these students don't take care of them, so all the antennas are bent and everything. So
Gotcha.
I usually don't like to use the lavaliers because they suck, and I don't have like Moleskin or anything to help with the clothing noise. And I'm like,
Gotcha.
we're indoors. Boom is number one that we're gonna use. Anyway, but the first AD, who was an asshole, she's a bitch. I'm not gonna say any names, but she's a bitch. She wasn't doing her job at all properly. So okay, long story short, she thought I was faking it. She thought that I was pretending that I didn't know that it was working. And I'm like, why why the fuck would I do that, man?
Mhm.
Like, and it's not even my responsibility. It was the mixer's responsibility. I'm just
Right,
boom
right.
mopping,
You're just
you
boom
know,
mopping.
like literally. But you know, we're all equals. We're all there to help each other out.
Right.
I went with the producer back to the school to get the new R44 because we couldn't do anything. It wasn't working.
Right.
Don't know why. To this day, I don't know why. So I went, got a new one. It was working fine. So we started a couple hours late. Wasn't my fault. I could tell she was pissed with me already. But it was sort of like that, like, you know what girls do? Like that whole, like, just like looking, like not saying hi, like kind of like that, like high school, like, she was being so immature about it. And we went to do the first scene. Extended my boom pole. We were shooting in a studio, so it was like a set. So it was like it wasn't outdoors or anything. I didn't need to do anything, whatever. It was 2 characters. I was whatever. We did the rehearsal if we had one. It was a shitty fucking show. Whatever. And she came up to me and she said, "Can you please extend your boom pole?" And I was like, oh, hell no. From that moment, my heart dropped. I'm like, this is going to be shitty. Why is the first AD telling me how to do my job?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't ever do that. Like, and she wasn't even on like a Comtech. It was a student film. We literally just have like 2 mics and 2 lavaliers and an arm. That's it. And so, you know, like the fact that she just told me what to do when they don't even know how to do sound just pissed me off.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't say anything. You know, we were already behind schedule. I stayed quiet. I'm being a professional. And I was older than everybody else. Like, I could tell. Like, they were like, this was also like first-time filmmakers. So I'm like, fuck me. I'm literally the only one in the room who knows how to do everything.
Right, right.
And anyway, from that on, she kind of like dissed me. Like, she wasn't really like looking at me. And by the way, first ADs should be very approachable on set.
Oh, well, they're the ones running the set.
They're the ones that are running the set. If you have a real big issue, of course you go to the producer if they're on set. But if you have like a minuscule issue, you always go to them, right? So I didn't feel like it. I was like, she's mad at me. I don't know why. And I'm a very sensitive person. So I was like, what's going on? So I just kept my mouth shut. I did my job, whatever. It was a 2-day shoot, whatever. By the end of day 1, maybe it was because I wasn't drinking enough water, but I got a really, really, really bad headache, and I felt really sick to my stomach.
Probably didn't smoke enough weed.
Probably.
Yeah.
You need your green crack.
Yeah. It was a set. I couldn't.
It should be mandatory to smoke weed on set.
Especially for
really
sound
should.
people.
Well,
Sound people. Like, you guys know
it's
that
legal now.
I know,
legal.
You
yeah,
might as well
but,
mix it in with cigarettes.
but I wouldn't do it while I'm working on set, to be
It
honest.
should be an option, but for those who can contain themselves.
on the call
But
sheet.
people know. Like in Chinese, I never worked with Chinese, but I heard that they have bowls of cigarettes
No
sometimes on
way.
set. Yeah, so it'll be
What?
like on Crafties, it'll be like food, and then there's some cigarettes.
What? Even in LA?
I don't know about in LA. My buddy worked on Light Ninjas. He's great guy. He used to work with Chinese, and I believe he mentioned they smoke a lot of cigarettes, and they actually do. Yeah, like
Well, I mean,
smoke
yeah.
cigarettes.
Cigarettes
and
is
their
fine,
cigarettes.
but
Yeah,
weed
Yeah.
is like, changes your personality.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
but anyway,
altering.
Yeah.
but
On
yeah.
the call sheet should be. We will have it.
Call
but-
sheet.
Yeah.
Crafty and weed.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Mandatory.
so I was doing my job, whatever, and like, so I got really sick, and it was literally like the last hour of the shoot, and it was like the worst. They were shooting really badly for Boom.
Yeah.
Wide shots that didn't need to be wide. I was like, their coverage was like bullshit coverage. I was like,
That's a
it was
love
a student
story.
film. Yeah, it's not the way you properly shoot a film. Like,
Right.
I get it. Like, wide shots, great, do what you want, but you have to get coverage. Like, you're dealing with a student film. You don't have a $200 million budget that you can like do stuff like that. Anyway, so I had to extend my boom pole a lot, and it was heavier. As you know, it's a lot heavier. And it was 2 actors and whatever. And I was feeling sick by that time. Like, I literally wanted to throw up. I don't know what happened. Drink lots of water, guys. And ADs, make sure that your crew is hydrated throughout most of the shoot.
First episode of the Set Story Show is about water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Check that out, setstories.com.
Stay hydrated.
But anyway, so afterwards, and after that we needed to do like some like wild lines. So my mixer could have taken care of that. It's really easy, freaking wild lines. You just pull the boom, whatever. So I went up to I really wasn't feeling well. I'm like, I have to go home. I'm gonna throw up in front of the actors when we're on set, whatever. So I went up to the director. She was nice. I didn't go to the first AD for obvious reasons. I was like, guys, I'm really not feeling well. Like we're literally almost done with the shoot. It wasn't like 6 more hours to go.
Right.
Regardless, if you're not feeling well, you have to get out of there. You know? And so I did. I left. I literally threw up the second I got home.
Oh.
Luckily,
wow.
it was like a 20-minute ride. But I don't joke like that. I don't make excuses to leave set. I'm not that kind of person.
Right.
I work hard. I love filmmaking. It's my passion. I love it. I don't do shit like that. But I really wasn't feeling well. So I come back the next morning, day 2, last day. I said hi to everybody. A few people said, "Are you feeling better?" I'm like, yeah, thank you. I took Advil. I felt better. I just needed to get out of that room, that situation, whatever. I drank a lot of water, whatever. And so a few people said, "How are you feeling?" I'm like, yeah, good. She walks by, the first AD, doesn't even fucking look at me. I could tell she was pissed at me for what I don't know. I do know, but it's not my fault. And so day 2, I keep my mouth shut. Everything's working. The equipment's fine. You know, we're continuing to film. So I'm there for 3 hours. We haven't shot one single thing, which is usually not good. When I'm first AD, I'm like, at least 2 hours in, we get started. Like before 2 hours, rehearsal, anything. We weren't doing anything. First AD's not around. She's not doing her fucking job. I was really pissed because I don't like to sit on set. I'd rather finish early. You know what I'm saying? And like get the shots that we need.
Oh, yeah.
So it took her crew 3 hours to light something that was really simple. And I was literally just sitting there. As a boom op, I can't do anything until everything is set.
Yeah.
Everything. Lighting, wardrobe, makeup, everything. I can't do anything. So the fact that like she was pissed off at me and I kept my mouth shut. I think I told Jonathan this story before. Like I should have said something about it.
Yeah.
Now here comes what she did to me, like the worst thing ever, which I think back on. I'm like, damn, I should have been like the adult and like been like good about it, but like spoken up. Like just it's important to speak up with your like back
Fight
up
for your
your
department.
fight for your
Yes,
department.
you have to.
In a very professional way. Like don't start fucking yelling and cussing in front of everybody. That's not
Oh,
good.
yeah.
But speak up, which I didn't, but lesson learned. We were filming in a hospital scene in like this little room. The rehearsals weren't even up yet. And she was like, so because her crew took 3.5 hours to freaking get the first shot in, and she wasn't doing her job, hurrying everybody up like she should, we were behind schedule. And so after that, she started, do this, do that, you know, and she started to go like overdrive, which is not what you should do. You know, you should stay, as first AD, always stay calm.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's number one. Like it's okay if you're a director to be thing, because you know, keep that on a leash, like the first AD, talk to him, whatever. But like the first AD should never ever be the one that's tripping out.
Or act like you're not
Or
tripping out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put a
even when
smile on her
it's-
face, but sweat bullets.
Exactly. But she wasn't doing that, so she hurried everybody up. And we were in this room, and she told me, as a boom op, do not leave this room. I need you to be ready when the camera goes. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, I literally could not leave the room to go get crafty, to go to the bathroom. I had to ask permission to go to the bathroom, which I get, but bitch was like, I was done with her by that time.
Wow, I'm even surprised you're saying you had to ask for permission to use the restroom. Usually you just go up and be like, hey, 10-1, 10-2.
Yeah, 10-1, yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's like, you know, they don't want you to take a dump or like, you know, piss yourself
course,
on
yeah,
set. You
yeah.
know, you know, everyone's waiting around, you know, professionally trying to get this done. And it's
Right.
like, you know, you have to go up and like it's kindergarten and be like, hey, can I go use the restroom?
I mean, just
Yeah.
let a person know. But
Exactly.
like asking permission, she literally said, I could not leave this room. I literally felt like a mother telling a child, you're in trouble. For what the fuck was I doing? I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was the one who was watching rehearsals. The sound mixer was fucking near crafty. By the first AD, by the way. They were like best friends.
Right.
So, like, what the it just pissed me off. So, anyway, I kept my mouth shut, didn't really say anything, was going to be professional about it, went through the day, the shoot was over. The next morning, they have to return equipment back to the school, right? Usually, as a boom op, I don't go because I don't go to the school or anything like that. So I'm like, and sound is like one bag, literally one bag. I'm like, you don't fucking need me to be there, dude. I got an email from her. She emailed everybody. She didn't email me personally. And I was like, oh, fucking bitch. Like, I'm not going all the way to Burbank to fucking dump some equipment to check it in. That should be the, like, other, like, actual crew members. Like, you know, the sound mixer should be the actual crew member. I'm a crew member too. But I was the only one who was doing anything. But anyway, and so I told her, I emailed her, because she emailed again, like, minutes later saying, because I guess no one responded.
Well, I wouldn't respond to that. Yeah.
What does that?
I'm not a student there. You just asked me to come help on your film.
Totally. And you treated me like shit on set. So fuck you. But, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to come. I lied and said, I'm going to be busy, you know, because I don't want to go. I'm not going to be like, no, I don't want to go. I get an email back from her. Saying, I think I deleted it because it was like, I was like, I'm fucking over this shit. She's like, you don't need to come. You were so unprofessional on set, blah, 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 blah. To those, she thought I was faking the sickness, you know, all that bullshit, which I was not.
Maybe it happened every day on set, yeah.
I didn't take the time to email her back because I was like, you're being a child. Yeah. And I don't know what to say in an email. Like, I'd rather be her face to face. Like, dude, like, this is what you did.
Yeah.
This is not how you should treat your crew. If you did think that I was faking it, come talk to me. Yeah. Don't just fucking give me the cold shoulder. Like, I'm Booma. Like, you know, I'm part of your crew. I make the sound happen. Sound mixer wasn't doing shit. She was like, I think I know. She was mixing too loud. It was, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my lovely story. And this happened, I think, a few months ago.
Lovely. Yeah, loveless.
Oh, God, all these sound jokes. I love it. But yeah, I mean, so I guess a lesson is for, like, first ADs, dude, like, if you think you have a problem with one of your crew members, talk to them, like, take them to the side and be professional, be polite about it. Don't be all bitchy. Don't give the cold shoulder. Don't tell your boom ops or anybody to just sit in a room like that. Like, that was like, it legit got me. I was livid, but I kept my mouth shut. I was fucking livid. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
These are a bunch of 20-year-olds telling me what to do. And she wasn't even doing her job right, which pissed me off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, treat your crew with, like, freaking respect, man. Like, that's the reason why I didn't approach her and tell her, like, I'm feeling really sick. I don't really feel it good, whatever, because she was unapproachable.
Yeah.
She freaking wouldn't even look me in the eye. I'm like, why would I even do that?
Well, what's your point of being an AD at that point?
Exactly.
Like, you know,
What is, that's your entire job.
Whenever anyone in general starts dehumanizing other people, like treating them less of a human, making them not feel human, you're not going to get positive feedback. I mean, that's just, you know, like
chop.
Yeah, it's like, stop, man. Yeah, chop. We're all equal to people. We're all human. And this is a little secret about Charles. If you ever decide to hire me, man, treat me like a human. I'll do anything for you. You know, you can yell at me all day, as long as first time you see me in the morning after working, you know, 13 hours or whatever, getting like 4 hours of sleep, is good morning, how are you?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh
That's
my God,
it. It's that simple. It's like, oh my God, you saw me as a human being and not as this device that just moves stuff when you tell me.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'll do anything. You can yell at me for the rest of the day, but at least I know, hey, you are as tired as I am, but yet you still thought about treating me like a goddamn human.
Whenever I'm first AD on a set, and lucky, because I love doing that job, even though it's hard. It's a hard job getting everyone to schedule and everything. But I always, like, not just once, not twice, not 3 times, I always throughout the day ask my crew members, every single one of them, how are you doing? Is there anything I could do for you? Yeah. Even if they say no, I'm good. That makes a complete different, because I care. It shows that you care. It shows that you're, you know, I always get water for them, the talent, actors, whatever. Like, I ask them how's it going, like, you know, whatever. Just like throughout the 12-hour shoot, we have the best job in the planet.
Yeah, we're like kids, literally. We get to play with these toys.
Oh, yeah.
And get paid to go to places and
entertain people and make people happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is the whole point. We're storytellers, whether you're gaffing or freaking producing. We're all storytellers. So let's just treat us with some respect, because this is such a fucking hard industry.
Yeah.
And we don't need bullshit people like that. Anyway.
Yeah,
and
which
she
is
literally,
why, I love Hootie for that, because, like, recently we did a short film back in in the summer, And
Yeah, it
I
was
remem-
last year, right?
Yeah. And I remember like it was very low budget, and they wanted so much out of it, and I was just like, these low budget things, they can go south within the first
Yeah.
hour.
Mhm.
And it was just like, after being, even we didn't have like, usually most big sets you go, there's like 5-6 guys on lighting. You got 2 ACs and a DP and stuff like. We only had like one DP, one AC every other day, a couple people for lighting, some PAs and stuff. But the respect that went in there, and also Hootie's AD work, like kept that set glued together. Because I've been on sets, and you were there with me too, Charles, on a couple sets where we're just like, oh my god. Like,
Help me.
Yeah, like you dreaded even showing up for the first day. Like,
Yeah,
you're just like, I know where this is gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that you got to be respectful for every department. It's not like no department falls short. Like everyone is important. Wardrobe's important.
Yeah.
Makeup's important.
Everything.
Everybody. Yeah.
There's a quote actually on I wrote in a business plan for set stories when I decided to pitch to people. It's a quote by a quote by Plato. It's we all have our natural roles and function in order to maintain the stability and unity of our community as a whole. And I put that in the set stories business plan because I wanted to remind people who are investing in it, and people and myself as well, that this is moving parts. Making movies, there's so many moving parts. There's the screw is just as important as the leg to the bloody table. So every little part has its function. Otherwise, it won't work well. And you have to take care of those parts. You have to lube them every once in a while. You have to feed your crew and take care of your crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you do that, you take care of your crew, you lube them up every once in a while, then they're going to function well, and the machine is going to work well. And therefore, the results are going to be great.
Yeah, the movie's going to be better for it, guys. Like, behind the scenes is everything. It's how we make a film. Like, to those of you, like, non-filmmakers who are listening to this, which I hope you are, it's pretty cool. You probably don't know what we're talking about when I say scripty and stuff like that, but it's all good.
Google.
Like, Google it right now. We'll give you 5
Be on
seconds.
so many sets, you'll start to figure it out.
Yeah, totally.
And you're like,
Yeah.
hey, why don't we have a scripty? Oh, no wonder this is going south.
I know, that too, yeah. Well, like, so many things happen behind that camera of your favorite films. And, like, shout out to all the crew members, like, to, like, those big budget ones who are fucking working their asses off. I just hope that, like, the above the line crew and everybody else involved just show some respect.
Yeah,
anyway, because she really, that experience really hurt me. Like, it really did. It traumatized me a bit not to do sound for like a few weeks, but I pull myself up from the bootstraps and I do it again because it's my job and I love what to do. But
yeah, sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes in life, in any career, but in movies especially, like, this business is kind of set up to bring you down. Because it's like, hey, like, you love it so much, you could have a bad experience. I think we all could relate having a bad experience that just made us want to quit. Even directors, directors. Like, I was watching Hollywood Reporter, listening to some directors, and it was actually very surprising to hear the number of directors that wanted to quit directing movies.
And these are like big time, like, celebrities.
Big time movie directors, movies we see, and they're like.
But that's also important to hire the right people.
Yeah.
Freaking hire people that you trust and that can, like, bring out the best in you and challenge you in a good way. Anyway, let's go to our wonderful Jonathan Scant story.
About my set stories? Here we go. But what was it? I would say probably the one I would say most memorable would probably be the one I actually met Charles on.
Oh, well, there you
go. I hate to say foreign productions, so we'll just say out of town.
Why? What's wrong with foreign?
I don't know. Foreign's a little bit of a harsh thing, but yeah. International film.
International.
Shoots.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Writer.
Yeah, there you go. That's why she's a writer and AD. She knows. I'm just the sound guy. I record
I know
whatever.
the words.
But
say, yeah.
These guys, like, I don't know what was up with them, but they just love shooting 18 hours every day. And
that's like their minimum.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So, like, come day one, everyone's all meeting up. We got the call sheets. That was fine, thank God.
Was it a feeture film?
No.
Okay.
This was like, God, how do you put it?
It was a pilot.
Yeah,
it was a startup company called. The startup company.
You don't probably want to say it, but
it was called.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pilot, and I guess it was a proof of concept kind of thing that they're trying to pitch to, like, an investor and stuff like that. So we're basically come day one, everyone shows up to the site. Everyone's kind of like slow to kind of set up, and of course we're waiting for the equipment truck. And then, I was upstairs because that's where we're shooting in this like little yoga studio. And all of a sudden, just like, we're all sitting there and then you just hear a big bang and half the building shakes.
What?
And yeah. And then
Earthquake?
no. Well, that's when we first saw it because you're on the.
Charles is like,
yeah.
like, I remember flashbacks.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So we were just kind of like, holy crap, what was that? And then literally you look outside the balcony down, and the equipment truck is pinned underneath the little
Get
clearance.
the fuck out
No.
of here,
So
dude.
all of a sudden you see him reverse, and like half the half of the roof is caved in already.
The gaffer, the one that does not have a U.S. ID or driver's license, drives up, looks at me in panic with his drink in his hand. Hi. Looks at the producer, points forward. The producer says, yes, park down there. At that split second, I literally, it was another freeze frame Charles had. I panned over, and I looked at the roof, and I panned back over. I looked at the thing, and I'm like, maybe. Then he took off. He took
Maybe. Yeah.
He took off. He went not slow, but fledge. He took off going, and I'm like, he made the first part.
Yeah.
He went past the first, and I'm like, oh, I guess I was wrong. And then the producer starts running after him, and I'm like, why is the producer running? I'm like, oh, because he knows he's not gonna make the second.
Maybe not.
Maybe
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
He did the first, but he went and he hit the second one, and it was literally like shit in a movie. Like when you see
Yeah.
accidents happen in a movie, it's definitely different when it happens in a movie. When you see a van literally take the top off, get skimmed off, and break the fucking roof and go through, and you see it all shake.
Oh my God.
And then you see a producer puts his hands on his head while running after the van, and you're just sitting there this all just happened in about 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And the
then-
first shot hasn't even been
For
up.
nothing. But literally right then and there, I foresaw my future with this production,
Oh yeah.
and I foresaw the paying situation. I'm like, there goes our freaking getting paid on time ish
Insurance money.
Insurance
Yeah.
money.
Oh my God.
But all of us getting paid on time, nope, not gonna happen. It's gonna be a struggle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Basically, excuse me.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of the story. We'll get to the morals, but yeah, hire the right people for the right stuff. So that shoot, yes, it went by like that. More on that one.
Yeah. I think moral of the story is pay your people on time.
Make sure you have a valid driver's.
That's a good part too.
And also, he was speeding, so that means they were late.
Well, yeah, he was late,
Yeah.
but he
don't
was
rush people.
never-
Especially with anything.
Yeah,
don't
your life's
just
not worth the
calm
set
down.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just calm down where it's gonna be okay. Because if you fucking panic, shit's gonna go even more down the drain.
Exactly.
And it was literally a domino effect.
Yeah.
Literally, when you see bad stuff happen in the beginning of the day, that usually sets the tone. But it
Yeah.
works the other way. If something good happens, a good vibe, good atmosphere, safety meeting,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I worked on low budget stuff with some students, and they had safety meetings, and it went well.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
but they just set the tone for that day, really set the tone. The producer definitely kind of, no AD, but could have kind of set the tone after all that. In my opinion, they didn't really handle it professionally like we
Yeah.
should. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They kind of put the blame game, the blame game does not work in the film situation. Who cares who the fuck did it? It
Yeah.
happened,
Yeah.
yo.
Yeah.
It's okay, whoever did it, just don't hire them again. It's your fault.
Yeah.
It was their fault for hiring the wrong person.
Right.
People, you got to hire skilled people to do the right jobs. It pays for in the end. Productions try to cut money, and they try to cut corners, but they cut the wrong corners.
Mm-hmm.
One for sure corner you don't want to cut is people who are responsible for expensive equipment.
Right.
Yeah.
At the very least, hire someone who doesn't know crap about crafties. If they break a fucking box of whatever, it's X amount of money.
Yeah.
But if you don't have someone who knows how to drive a truck a certain size through certain ways and knows how to take the certain precautions, like the whole roof clearance, and does know how to drive it whenever they are rushed, which is not being rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to be late, you're going to be late. Take the fall. but at least you get the equipment there safe.
Safely, and you as well, like the
Yeah.
everything, like producers, that saves time and money, which is all you think about. Hello, like
Hello.
the common
We're-
sense, like
it's
just-
going to cost you more in the long run. Now.
It will.
absolutely.
This is like a prime example of like this. Like they tried to save money, and in the long run, it costs them an astronomical amount.
Yeah.
You, John, experienced a lot more craziness on that set. I tend to detach myself from that set.
Yeah. Out of
Well,
bounds.
yeah, because I would have to go to the equipment truck to go talk to him, and like for me, you know, sound one man band, I had to be on set the whole time and
Yeah.
just seeing the whole rodeo and circus act.
Yeah.
and yeah,
and
it-
hear everything. that
Oh
goes
yeah,
down.
and then the worst part is like, you know, I think what really did me in was that time where like they took 5 hours to light a scene or whatever. They brought in the actor, and it turns out the actor was not for the role, and I was just like, we wasted the half the day on this
Literally, yeah.
one shot that
Yeah.
like in
The
45 minutes you
pre-production.
guys figured it out that he wasn't the right actor. I'm like, and you guys should have brought this guy in for rehearsals so you know
Yeah, or
what you're getting.
audition.
Audition,
How about
yeah,
that? How
yeah.
about that?
I want to before I forget. I wrote this down. Rehearsing. People rehearse your scenes.
Yeah.
The reason
Yes.
why we do rehearsal for 100 years is so that everyone and the AD is responsible. People
Yeah.
look at what's happening. Like,
Yeah,
Yes,
look
call
at what's
every
happening.
crew. Sometimes
Yep.
sound isn't even told rehearsal's going.
No.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like,
that's
what the
very
fuck,
important.
guys?
Yeah, you
like,
gotta find
I need
out.
to watch. What the
Yeah.
hell's going on?
The focus puller needs to know where to full focus.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
camera operator needs to know where to pan. The gaffer needs to know where to put a light. The
Yeah.
boom people need to know where to boom from.
The blocking, everything.
Blocking so many questions and so much time is saved whenever doing rehearsal.
Yeah.
Right.
That also goes for pre-production when prepping for it. That person wouldn't have got hired had
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
would have rehearsed them,
Yeah.
and then they would have saved all that time.
Exactly.
You
And
know,
then-
the best
Yeah.
pre-production makes the best production, and that makes it usually
and the
best
worst
post.
part about it too is, you know, at least they paid the person, but now I'm like, you paid someone who showed up and didn't do their job or
But
fit
dude,
the role.
obviously we're not in it for the money.
Well, no,
Or
no.
we
I'm
would've been
just
like
saying,
fucking
but I'm
doctors
like,
or whatever.
they
But I
could have
mean, money
saved.
isn't everything in our
They
profession.
could have saved that money to buy
Yeah,
something than you know. Was it Panda Express for
yeah,
the crew?
more than
Yeah,
yeah. I
and
gotcha.
at least drive morale up. And I remember
Yeah,
the
yeah.
makeup artist; she was not having it. Like she hated Panda Express, and every day was Panda Express. Now I'm out there
Oh, shit.
filming out in the night, and then
Yeah.
of course on top of it too, like I'm trying to get the best place to boom.
Yeah.
The girl's walking down the street, and they don't want to do. They want to do a continuous shot,
Is it all dialogue?
all dialogue,
Oh fuck.
continuous shot.
Fuck.
Yeah, no cuts in between. And then on top of it too, like I'm booming from up, and then it's a night shot. So there's someone walking with the lights, holding
With
it
a
up.
huge zeppelin on and everything, and like
Oh,
your-
everything,
your
yeah,
dead
yeah.
cat. Yeah, yeah.
So they had the lights and everything, and then they're doing Steadicam, and then I'm trying to boom, and of course it's causing shadow.
Yeah.
So then I have to boom from under.
Oh.
So
shit.
yeah,
Airport. Yeah.
yeah.
all
So you
planes,
just
yeah.
hear nothing but airplanes coming by.
Oh my
And then on
God.
top of it too, since we're on Burbank Boulevard, we got people basically like honking and screaming at us.